Ever since COVID started, a lot of people love doing online meetings on Zoom or Google Meet for professional networking, but I believe that there are a lot of benefits for in-person networking. And specifically speaking, there's a lot more that you can tell from the other person's facial expressions, hand gestures. It's a communication method that enables you to know a lot more about the person than speaking to them online. And an example I have of this is that I met one of my connections who's actually international just in person today. He was in Boston for a bit and it's his last day over here before he flies back home. I made the time to take the train into the city and just to meet him there and also treat him to coffee. I think that when you're trying to reach out to people and when you're trying to really expand your professional network, it's really important for you to go out of your way to do things for other people, whether you're treating them to coffee or showing them around the city. It's just a lot more effective to meet them in person. And studies have shown that a lot of our communication, I believe the stats is 60% or more or 70% of our communication comes from how we use our facial expressions and hand gestures and how we read and react around that person. And so the online meetings, although they are very efficient because you don't have to leave your room and you're just sitting in front of your computer and talking to someone, it's not nearly as effective and also not as enjoyable too, because a huge part of networking is to enjoy other people's company and to have other people enjoy your company too as a friend. It's not just about the transactional deals that you have. And so making the time to see someone in person and making the effort to travel somewhere, if it's within an hour or two, I think it's all very reasonable times for you to go out of your way and to meet that person. When you're initiating an online meeting, I believe that it's also important to ask about what that person likes to do. For example, if you're inviting someone to coffee, but they absolutely do not touch caffeine whatsoever, then it might become a small problem. Or if you're offering for them to go to a bookstore together, but they're simply not interested in reading books, then it's not going to be the best experience for them. Initially, when you're starting to network with other people and you're starting to build that up and you don't know that person super well yet, it does make them more comfortable when you're going somewhere that they want to go to and when you're engaging in the type of activity that they prefer. And that's why it's always important to ask them, what do you want to do or what do you like, without it being too indecisive. For example, if they give you a few choices, then you can be like, oh, I know that this restaurant is good. What if we eat here this time? And then maybe afterwards we can walk around and or even go on a hike if that's what they like. And that's what I've done with people before. I'd also encourage you to get to know that person as a human being outside of just work stuff. For example, today I spoke to this person for hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours at least. And we not only spoke about business, but also about our mutual friends that we knew, the type of person we look up to, our living environments, our views on college, and our preferences on food and things like that. I think all of these just add to the camaraderie of two people being together. I do believe that when you want to do business in the long term and when you want to succeed together, it's important that you guys are friends and not just solely business partners or business counterparts. Something else I like to do is that when you go out for coffee or for a little dessert, if the amount is not too big, try to treat the other person, because in the short term, it might not be that much of a difference between just paying for yourself versus paying for two people. Again, if that is something that's within your budget, it shows that you really care about them and it shows that you value them so much as a person. And it is a very nice gesture to show other people. So that is what I like to do when I'm meeting with others. Obviously, there are times when they treat me to something as well, and that leaves room for me to initiate the next meetup for treating them. What you should do after the meeting is that the next day or the day after, just leaving some space in between. It's good to craft a thank you message for being like, thank you for your time or thanks for coming out to meet me. And also giving them some food or thought or some actionable steps to take next. If you guys talked about, for example, newsletters, you might be able to say, I would encourage you to write 1 newsletter per month, or I would encourage you to start your own YouTube channel if that's something that you're still interested in for the long term, as well as providing value and support from your side, saying that if you want to learn chess, for example, let me know. I can teach you some stuff. You can text me anytime. And this sort of follow-up message after 24 to 48 hours, in my opinion, is even more valuable than just sending it right away, because people are used to sending outreach messages and follow-ups now. But when you do it too soon, sometimes it doesn't feel as intentional. And again, this is just a personal preference. There's no hard rule on how you should do it. I just like to do it 1 day or 2 after the call. And so that's how I follow up. and sooner than you know, you'll have the next meetup with this person. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about networking, let me know down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.